In Path of Fire, we were returning back to the Crystal Desert and to northern Elona. We wanted to go back to a place that means a lot to players and has history for the franchise, but we wanted to look at something that is now fresh.
The last time we visited the Crystal Desert was in Guild Wars Nightfall. That was 250 years ago, so a lot has changed in that time.
There are iconic locations and landmarks that will be very recognizable for players who are familiar with the Guild Wars franchise, but at the same time, we're building the lore and the story in such a way that if you weren't there for the beginning, it's absolutely fine. We're gonna help bring you along for this ride. There's a crisis going on in Elona, in an area that we have not been back to in 250 years.
Path of Fire starts with reports that Balthazar has been wreaking havoc in the desert.
Balthazar is the human god of war and fire. Last we had heard that the gods had kind of stepped away from Tyria.
Human players have been worshiping him since Guild Wars 1. But then he shows up and he's not benevolent, right? He has his own goals and he clearly doesn't care about who gets harmed in the way. Everyone in Elona has the exact same questions.
Why are the gods walking amongst us? Does this mean the gods are coming back?
We don't know what he hopes to achieve at this point, and that's what you and everyone in the region is trying to figure out.
Palawa Joko has risen into power. He has brought with him an army of undead, and he has totally warped the culture that is there. The civilians believe that he is their rightful ruler. He is their rightful king.
How is this region dealing with these crises? What different powers are taking advantage of the scenario? How are they trying to solve it? And how can you as the player try to help? It's already this volatile mix of different forces in the region.
One of the first factions you're going to encounter are the Forged, Balthazar's army.
Living armor created only to serve Balthazar. They're ruthless and they're just dedicated to achieving his goals.
Another faction that you're going to be seeing is the Awakened, the army of the ruler of the land, Palawa Joko.
Undead forces, they still have some remnants of memories. They're sentient, but they will do anything for their master.
You've also got Kralkatork and the Branded.
Mindless elemental stripped of their original self by Kralkatork's power.
And of course, the player is being asked to, come do the hero thing.
So the player needs to form a new coalition here in the desert.
Path of Fire has a great combination of old friends and new, who all have very different perspectives on Balthazar.
You've got your warriors like Ritlock, and you've got Casimir, and these people all get together to help the commander, the player. Path of Fire is going to bring 5 whole new maps to the game.
5 maps that are bigger than any map we've done before.
We'll see things that have shifted the landscape and see things in a very unique way.
So when people talk about deserts, they think sand, flat stretches, but that's not actually true, right?
It's not just, one massive desert that we're exploring, it's all these different biomes coming together.
The maps go tall, the maps go wide, the maps go under and around in places. We've really decided to bring exploration and discovery back to the forefront of Guild Wars 2. There's elements that make each map unique, but we've also got elements that kind of tie all the maps together.
We're going to have bounties now that players can hunt dangerous creatures that have been threatening the people of Elona, world events, bosses. With the mounts, of course, we're going to have races, content both old and new to get players engaged.
In Path of Fire, we really wanted to get back to the roots of what made Guild Wars 2 unique and fantastic.
People who are playing through the main story will really enjoy both the depth and the breadth of experiences they are able to have.
The interesting characters who, if they go just a little bit further, they'll run into.
Massive maps that are fully explorable, freedom that we haven't necessarily seen as in-depth as when we launched with the original Guild Wars 2.
There's some really cool surprises we're building in. I want them to find this world as exciting and interesting and complex as anything we've ever created. And I want them to feel like they have a place in it too.